will take you under, but it washes your spirit clean. One day I fell upon the ground and I heard a mournful sound. Thought I were to die, but only was made blind. And the wind came from the sea and it whispered soft to me, saying, head on down to the river, child, and see what you can see. My heartache burnt my hands, I cried across the land. The rocks got out and the mountains rang, and an ancient song they sing, saying these trees will all burn, and creatures all decay. Smoke scorch the sky, but it starts an endless day, singing, oh, my friend, won't you be sing? That fire burns your skin, but it sets your mind at ease. Hey. Rain fell down, it's up here, then I sank up to my waist. When she held me close, as I back in the Holy Ghost. So I prayed to the skies, but the water still be rising. Oh, my friends, won't you sing? That water may fill your lungs, but sets your body free. I saw a man upon a tree that was planted there for me. It grew
1 minute, everybody. Elizabeth Cook. And her shiny bronze gnome.
Hey. Congratulations on not having a real job.
Live from the Birthplace of Country Music Museum. Thanks for tuning in to Radio Bristol. Chris Trulson here with another live Radio Bristol session. And we got a big one this afternoon. We've got Elizabeth Cook here with us. Going to play us some music. Yeah, give her a big round of applause. A nice, lively audience as always. Before we jump into the session, a few things to mention. There's a lot of events and things happening here at Radio Bristol and Birthplace of Country Music. Coming up March 7th, this is a week early. Usually Farm and Fun Time's the second Thursday every month, but this one is special. It is March 7th. Coming up next week, we've got Bruce Molsky and Mountain Drifters and Kaya Cater from Smithsonian Folkways. Tickets are going fast for that. It is almost sold out. ListenRadioBristol.org for more information. Then we've got Elizabeth Laprelle coming through. She's going to be doing a free workshop March 29th and a performance that evening. Parker Millsap is coming up for a Radio Bristol session soon as well, so keep your eyes out for that. That's coming up. So a lot of good things happening. So stay tuned. Nathan Sykes is going to be on the air in a little bit, and then we'll have Tony Doman, Mountain Song and Story coming your way. We are going to jump right on into a great Radio Bristol session. We're really lucky to have Elizabeth here with us. She's been touring here for out west for quite some time, and she's making her way through our neck of the woods. Going to be playing at the Gray Eagle tomorrow night, and we're going to talk with her. But first things first, we're going to jump into some music. Please, everybody, make welcome Elizabeth Cook.
Hey, y'all. know this guy, he all wrong for me. He wears shirts that are tripping on LSD. I must be high as a kite on diesel fumes. He got me sporting bell bottoms and braids to school. I never thought he'd get this far, certainly not in that kind of funky ass car. He been picking me up every day at the curb in his 1972 refurb. Look at me, oh, it's bright and tangerine at me. Look at me, look at me. I told him your car is creepy, man, and not in a gangster kind of way, but in a perv kind of way. You got a lot of nerve driving that kind of car and taking me fishing out to the park. You're like some dude on blow in that movie Boogie Nights, and this Friday night you wanna go to the fight. Say you come me, it's bright and tangerine come me. No, it drained that gasoline come me. Look at me. Hot guitar licks. After Saturday matinee roller derby, we went parking and things got blurry. I thought, man, I can't get much hotter. And then I caught a whiff of pina colada, and we were making love in the disco era. And he was Travolta and I was Farrah. I was like, man, what is happening here? Dude must have put a Quaalude in my beer, and if I wake up married, I just have to annul it. Right now my hands are in his mullet, and that could mean, oh, it bright and tangerine could mean, oh, it drank some gasoline could mean, it lean in a sink could mean, it bright and tangerine could mean, look at me, it smell like Listerine could mean, look at me, oh. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll do one for y'all off my most recent album. It's called Exodus of Venus. This is a song that I wrote that I had the privilege of having the great Miss Patty Loveless sing on it with me, and it's just a song for all the crazy ladies. It's called Straight Jacket Love. When it's a little early to be doing this, but okay. Got it. When pyro's in the pocket and heat is in the air, when heartache's in a locket, tangled in my hair. Look out, sugar, mama need a drug. Time for you to wrap me up in straight jacket love. On and off the wagon, lighting fire and grease. Knives are made for stabbing, arms are made for peace. There is not a why, and there is not a fence, and there is not a lie can talk me any sense. Look out, sugar, mama need a drug. Time for you to wrap me up in straight jacket love. On and off the wagon, lighting fire and grease. Knives are made for stabbing, arms are made for peace. Well, I know you've seen it coming, and I know what's been said. But I can't hurt nobody. Been safely to your Look out, sugar. Mama need a drug. Time for you to wrap me up in straight jacket love. On and off the wagon, like burning grease. Knives are made for stabbing. Knives are made for peace. Thank you. Thank you very much. I was born down in Central Florida. My mama was a hillbilly singer from Charleston, West Virginia. And my daddy went to jail for running moonshine with the mob, but when he got out, he moved in next door to her, became her neighbor, and that was a lucky day. and they both discovered soon that they were each musicians, because my daddy had played upright bass in the prison band, because he's a real winner. And so it just so happened that Mama was co-fronting this band over at the beach with this guy named Stanley Terry, and Daddy used to call him Stanley by God Terry. And it just so happened that they needed a bass player, and Mama needed a ride to the gig, and Daddy had a truck, so everything worked out really well. And so he's in this band with Stanley by God Terry, and they have like this sort of fashion rig that they like to wear as they terrorize the honky tonks of Central Florida together. It was like white leather shoes and baby blue polyester Wrangler dress pants and a matching white leather belt and a short sleeve Western shirt, button downs, keeping it classy, keeping it tropical, and like splashes of Old Spice till there was like just this humid sheen of Old Spice covering them. And I think that they forgot that I was there a lot, and I don't remember everything perfect all the time, but I'm pretty sure every word of this is true. This is a new song that I have called Stanley by God Terry. Stanley by God Terry knew exactly how it felt to play a George Jones song. A white leather belt, matching shoes, polyester blues. At the Fine Grove Lounge, all you can drink booze. Bloody bucket of old broads and men who'd been clean shaven when they started at 10. When Stanley got going, Mama beside and Daddy on bass, St. Charlie Pride, Kalijah Folsom, stand by your man. Few you might hear from the band, nobody gets it like Tom T. Hall. And there was saxophone laughs off a disco ball. Well, they could kind of play, but they could really drink. Somebody finally say exactly what they think, and sawdust pine saw last night's beer. A bolo tie on a rear view mirror, and there's a fighter in every dancing fool. I watched it all as a baby from a black bar stool. Well, Stanley's wife Carolyn cared to hang around. She liked her drink, just didn't take it in town. They knocked down, drag out every weekend. By Sunday, somebody's face was on the mend, passed out cold on the concrete porch. Love sure is a bitch when your liver is scorched. South end of the county had a whole nother bar where the band would play. Since it wasn't very far, there were more strange women, even more smoke, and filled by a legendary live oak. Carol came in hot on Hennessy. She left and wrapped her car around that live old tree. I remember in the morning, Mama dropping the phone. I remember hushed words, hearing Daddy groan. They had a pretty daughter, shy little Sherry. We went and picked her up from the school library. She was 16 and could sing so sweet. And on a really good night, she'd babysit me. Well, after all that, it gets kind of cloudy, but 2 years later, she was Miss Sumter County, as small town trashy, tragic. Feathered her hair and sang the rose. The whole cow palace knew just how she felt. And standing by, got Terry wore a white leather belt. And country music and hillbilly pain, they make stories that'll hurt you and hold you like a chain. Thank you.
Live radio Bristol session with Elizabeth Cook. Stanley by God Terry, a new tune. That's a beautiful tune. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
And welcome back to Bristol. It's been a couple years. You stopped through for Bristol Rhythm and Roots a few years back.
I did, yeah.
Well, it's good to see you again.
Thank you. It's always good to be here at the birthplace, you know.
Now you're talking our language, talking about moonshining and all that good stuff. Did this may be disclosed information, but when your dad got out, did he continue shining?
Well, you know, well, no, he learned to weld in prison because they educated him how to weld so he could go build more jails. He still says about the Sumter County Correctional Institute, there's a few bars that's a little loose if you checked them. But I could tell that he had a really good time in prison because there's all these like big black and white photos of him like on the decorating committee, and he like drove the warden's car, and I'm like, what was happening? And I found out just in recent years since he's passed that he was actually making moonshine stills for the prison officials.
What?
And so he was totally in cahoots with them and got to kind of he kind of ran the place with them. And yeah,
he was
there's all
probably
these
doing
pictures
pretty
of
good
like
in there, then.
him acting like he's going to escape in the office, and they're like laughing, and I'm like, what was going on? So yeah, he did it. He made some moonshine stills.
You mentioned that both of your parents were country musicians. Were you kind of on the road with them when were they traveling around Florida,
no,
or were they just
they
playing like
didn't
local
tour.
local honky tonks?
It was local seedy bars, you know, juke joints, bloody buckets. I'm gonna call them, you know, dives. There were really only two that they played mainly, and every once in a while there would be like a swanky civic event, like we'd smoke some mullet down at the American Legion. That was a big one every year. So yeah, you know, but yeah, they took me with them a lot, but we didn't travel extensively or anything.
Was it inspiring to you?
It was scary. Yeah, I was just a little kid, and it was a wild scene. And I mean, from my perspective, and I have 10 siblings, but they were by previous marriages, and they were all way older than me. So I was kind of like, I was a love child and an afterthought all at the same time, I think. And so I was just sort of kind of outside the bubble looking in a little bit.
Well, the apple doesn't fall that far from the tree, apparently, because now you're making music. You started into songwriting like when you were a kid, right? You've been doing it forever.
Yeah, well, I'd say I started into writing. I always liked to write, and I still have the first like short story I ever wrote about this duck that got lost, and it was really rough.
Sounds like a country song.
Yeah. It'll be on the new album. But so I was always I'm interested in writing. Music I associated with not always great things, from those experiences as a child. But I rebelled against my parents' wishes and got a college degree. And they were like, whatever, ruin your life. But when I got that corporate gig, it was in Nashville, Tennessee. It was with a at the time, Big Six accounting firm. And I did well in school. My parents didn't really notice that much either. And be like, that's good, honey. I could bring home any kind of grade. I was like, that's so good. But I was really miserable in the corporate environment. For me, it was stifling. I didn't fit in well culturally. They thought I wore weird clothes and stuff, and so
No.
yeah, I know, and so it was just a little oppressive for me, personality-wise, and so on a fluke, I got an offer to write songs, and so I took a publishing deal and started writing, started getting serious about songwriting. I had written some songs in college.
Very cool. We just heard a new one. And this is pretty cool to see a stripped down sort of acoustic performance from you, because it doesn't happen that often. But this whole tour that you've been on has been sort of an acoustic tour, right?
Yes, and I like to do that particularly when I have a new set of material, which I'm really trying to always work on and start working on a more consistent basis now. So solo tour, it's like it forces me to really get command of the material before I go in with an 8-piece band and studios and producers and get run over. But if I've really got command of the material when I go in, it makes me, I feel like, more present and in control of the record. And so, because I like to make big records.
Yeah.
And I think I'll do solo. I might do like a live solo record and stuff at some point.
Cool.
But I like making big, awesome sounding road trip records, and so this solo tour allows me to really get in.
I mean, so we're kind of looking at potentially, are you looking at recording in 2019 or?
Yeah, we're the new project's in the works.
All right,
so there'll
exciting,
be more to
exciting
stand by,
stuff.
more to come on that.
And you're on tour with Chris Shiflett and Kendall Marvel. You've co-written with Chris a little bit, I believe, right?
No.
Okay.
I was on his podcast. He has a podcast called Walking the Floor Over You that's
really
great. Yep. And so I got to be on his podcast, and we just hit it off. He's really a cool guy, and he likes to make music and write songs sort of in our corner of the music world outside of his gig with the Foo Fighters.
Right.
And so that's been fun to be a part of and watch him get out there and in our haunts with us.
Now, tell folks a little bit who I'm sure most people already know, but you've been a DJ and you kind of fell into that. I had the same sort of experience where it was like just kind of was presented to me and took it on. You're on Outlaw Radio on Sirius, and your show you've been doing it now for about 10 years,
That's
right?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about how you kind of fell into it. Was it something that you were looking forward to doing or planned on?
No, nothing ever is. So I was on a press release tour for the Balls album. So my 2007 record, Balls, 2008, came out. And so, I was doing promotion. And so I came through Sirius XM in New York. And the fellow that interviewed me was programming the channel as well as pulling a shift on the channel, and he really wanted to come off the air, and they really wanted a female, and they need a female with a southern accent. And I was like, well, if I find one, I'll let you know. But and I really resisted it, and he was like, well, just do 1 day a week. I was like, all right. And then that turned into 2 days a week. And then that turned into 5 days a week. And that turned into 10 years.
10 years.
I know. I think they owe me a watch or something.
Fantastic show.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Thanks.
Congrats on that.
It's a lot of fun.
You're playing at the Gray Eagle tomorrow. It's sold out. So we're really lucky here in Bristol to have this performance. And, of course, keep your eyes peeled for new record, ElizabethCook.com for more information. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me come through here. Like I said, it's an important place to come touch down. So,
What's your favorite thing about Florida?
Florida?
Yeah, that's where you're from.
The sun and the oranges and
What's your least favorite thing about Florida?
Mosquitoes, vicious reptiles of various sets that will kill you, a lot of unidentified animals that can just kill you. But I like to fish a lot, and I miss fishing in Florida quite a bit. I still get to go every once in a while.
Cool.
But, yeah, I saw Tyler Childers caught a big old slab down there a few weeks ago, and I was like, I sent him a picture of my 14-pound bass I caught in Lake Wales. And
Dang.
I know. I was like, you all right, but... I was like, come visit with me. I'll put you on a dinosaur, man.
Yes. Well, we're here with Elizabeth Cook, live radio Bristol session. Everybody give it up. Can we get a couple more tunes?
Yeah.
All
sure,
right.
absolutely.
Big round of applause for Elizabeth Cook.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. So I'll do a couple more new ones to leave y'all with, and this is one that's inspired more by an ilk of women that have married into my family, and we love each other, and we're not like exactly alike, and we know that, and I know that they know that, and I can tell because of the presents they give me sometimes at Christmas. They're like, we thought you'd like this because it's really different. And but I love these women. I admire them a lot. So this is a new song for them called Thick Georgia Woman. Thick Georgia woman, her body knows, basket of peaches, underclothes. She moves like a razor, she'll peel your heart. Thick Georgia woman, where do you start? She gonna lock the door and take off her bra, call up her sister in Arkansas, put her rights in a jar of wine, talking about class and decline. In her chest is a treasure trove, rich as the groceries on the stove, a world of hurt, and the sky's happy as hell otherwise. Thick Georgia woman, her body knows, basket of peaches, underclothes. She moves like a razor, she'll peel your heart. Thick Georgia woman, where do you start? Sand of the sink in her weekend jeans, gotta get the sand off of them greens. One quiet look, one quiet tone, a million lines, no megaphone. Come Sunday dress, J.C. Penney, same top she wore to see Kevin Kenny. When others leave, she just stays. You don't hear that nowadays. Thick Georgia woman, her body knows, basket of peaches, underclothes. She moves like a razor, she'll peel your heart. Thick Georgia woman, where do you start? What she think, only heaven knows. What she got ain't what she chose. There's sandy land, there's southern pride, there's Jesus saves, there's suicide, there's hair that reaches for the sky, and hair that don't ever dry. Feather down, place to hide for your dream. Genocide, it's supposed to want, it's supposed to aid. Somebody's deal you're supposed to take. Try not to judge, try not to curse. Cry on that Bible until it bursts. Thick Georgia woman, her body knows, basket and peaches, underclothes. She moves like a razor, but she'll peel your heart. Thick Georgia woman, where do you start? Thank you so much. I got one more I'll leave y'all with, and this is another new one. So I hope you'll come back and see me when I'm out on tour with the band doing these after the record comes out. But I've got any John Prine fans? Anybody know? Great. Do any of y'all know his record, The Missing Years? A few less. It's a little more obscure. It's an older one. He's got this song on the missing years called Jesus, the Missing Years. And it's all about what Jesus was doing between the ages of 12 and 23 when he goes off the grid in the Bible. So it's like a cool song. He just makes up all this kooky stuff. And so because I don't have enough career challenges, I decided I wanted to write an answer song to Jesus, the Missing Years, about what Jesus' mother was doing during that time. So I wrote an answer to Jesus, the Missing Years, and this just called Mary, the Submissing Years. Accessories get in the way. It was hot, 100 in the shade, when Mary got a note from this guy named Gabe. She don't remember getting pregnant, but she did. By all accounts, she turned out one heck of a kid. But walking home from church one day, he just up and disappeared. Maybe he went to find Santa, or maybe he went to get beer. He was just 12 years old, this miracle she carried. It was also confusing. She wasn't even married. So she fled south to Elizabeth, her eldest cousin, who despite her old age also had one in the oven. And in a duplex with a busted cement gnome, well, Chattanooga was as good as home. And that's in Tennessee. Barbie lovers and firecrackers, train trackers, Coca-Cola makers, insurance takers, and a lot of hot preachers. Sarah bought some brownies, Shauna bought rosé. They almost booked a beach trip, but they didn't have a way. They baked biscuits in daylight for whoever might stop by, but they didn't get a lot of colors at the corner of do or die. Well, sweet tea was flowing and so were the tears as Mary lived out her submissing years. Not really free and sure not a boss. Just mostly lonely and mostly lost. Wherever Jesus was and whatever God had in mind, she hoped her boy was out there somewhere having a good time. 'Cause chance just seems to fall out of the sky. And that's if you're lucky and the weather is dry. Lots of letters from Mama came full of worry, and I told you. She curled up on the couch and watched Still Magnolias. She baked a cake and baked a ham. She opened an account on Instagram, 'cause that's what you did back then. Mary was a good old gal. You know, she didn't deserve this shit. She wrote her lines out one at a time, and she didn't complain one bit. She saw Sinead cover Loretta on Saturday Night Live, like every good virgin does. But she spent most of her time just sitting around and wondering where in the hell Jesus was. Sarah bought the brownies, Shauna bought rosé. They almost booked a beach trip, but they didn't have a way. They baked biscuits in daylight for whoever might stop by, but they didn't get a lot of colors at the corner and do. Well, time went by like molasses, so she signed up for some classes, but it seemed there were no real answers. Just a lot of fast food and raunchy dancers. And Things everywhere were the worst kind of wild. She knew in her gut they were coming for her child. With bumpers and thumpers and guns a-blazing, old Jesus was in for some gnarly hazing. Frat boy hazing, that is, the worst kind. She thought, oh my God, what have I done? He's a bottle of milk and all the love inside him is mine. They're gonna kill my baby. They don't like him none. So she cut off all her hair. She thought she might could get there if they would just mistake her for a man. It looked kind of mod. It probably wouldn't please God, but she had to have some kind of plan. It turns out there are no fish at the end of a lightning rod. The worst thing you can turn out to be is the Son of God. I'm not sure there's anything anybody can do when people will kill you even when there's nothing wrong with you. So come and gather around me, friends, all my contemporary peers. And I'll tell you all the story of Mary, the submissing years. Sarah bought the brownies, Sean and borrowed they. They almost booked a beach trip, but they didn't have a way. They baked biscuits in daylight for whoever might stop by, but they didn't get a lot of colors at the corner and do die. No, there ain't a lot of colors at the corner and do. Y'all, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Elizabeth Cook, live at Radio Bristol session. That was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing new material. Of course, ElizabethCook.com for more information. She's finishing up the winter tour. A few more shows left. Sold out at the Grey Eagle tomorrow. I think there's like 2 other shows after that. We can't wait for you to come back through Bristol sometime soon.
Thank you.
And congratulations on everything going on in your life and your wonderful new music as well. Really excited about the new record. Folks, stay tuned. We've got Tony Doman coming up with Mountain Song and Story and much, much more. Don't forget Farm and Fun Time, March 7th. Bruce Molsky, Kaya Cater, Parker Millsap, a Radio Bristol session coming up soon, and Elizabeth Laprelle with a program coming this way as well. Listen, radiobristol.org. A big thanks to our in-studio audience. Give yourself a round of applause. And we will talk to you later. Chris Trulson for Radio Bristol signing off. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.